afternoon, and welcome to the Real Men, Real Leaders podcast. It is February the 12th, and it's actually a nice day. You know, it's been going back and forth from being cold snow and then warm again, and we've had some crazy weather. But we appreciate you joining us. As you know, this podcast is about leadership, and Real Men, Real Leaders works with very young boys, and now we started the girls program, and we teach them leadership concepts. And we want them to become good leaders at their home, their school, and in our community here in Garden. And we started this podcast because we wanted to bring leaders right here in our community to share their story, to share how they were able to get from point A to point B, and the challenges that they face. Because we tell our young boys and our young girls that, life is not easy. It is tough. And there are times that you're going to have challenges that you just got to be able to get through in order to have success. And we always tell our boys and girls that to do the hard thing. You do the hard thing, life becomes easy. You do the easy thing, life becomes hard. So this podcast, like I say, we bring in leaders. I have a great guy that I just met, wonderful guy, but he has worked with young boys as a baseball coach, and he himself played baseball. And I'm not going to tell you his story. He's going to tell you his story. And I'm glad to welcome Sean Lydon.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Sean Lydon. Sean, thank you for joining us. Sean is the VP of Sales at a TKO. What is TKO?
TOK, actually.
TOK,
Yep,
yeah.
so TOK stands
I was
for-
at CKO
I
like
know.
a knockout.
Yeah, it's knockout or Teddy P, right? Teddy Fancy.
No, you know Teddy
Oh,
P.
yeah. No, it's Tex Oak Can, so Texas,
Okay.
Oklahoma, Kansas Oil Field Services. TOK Manufacturing, essentially,
Right.
is what we go by short, and just a big manufacturing outfit in town. So
It's great people. I'm sad that he's gone with us, but he has done a lot for our community and for a lot of youth,
absolutely.
especially those that need help. So, Sean, tell us a little bit about how you ended up in Garden.
Man.
Tell us your story.
Yeah, that's it's dynamic. to think it would be here to call this place home was a long shot at some
Yeah.
points, but glad it is. So, we my wife and I moved back here in about April of last year. I think was when it all kind of started, and finished up in June. I think is when we finally made the big move with the kids. So, long story short, I met my wife. She's a local girl from Holcomb. And we met early on when I was in my coaching gig up in Colby. I was up in Colby coaching at the college up there, and we kind of got going. And she went up to nursing school, and then I got an opportunity out in Colorado in oil and gas, and kind of took it and kind of went back home. She wanted to be in Colorado, so we did that. We were there 2014, I think, up until last year.
Wow.
So it was a good. What was that, 12-year stint? Got married out there, had all our kids out there, built a house out there, did the whole thing. And then, TOK was kind of a competitor with Palmer here in town. And I worked for TOK. I was a customer of them before I worked for them. But I actually bought a lot of their tanks as a customer. And so got to know the team there, and amazing team.
Yeah.
Really people-oriented, driven by community involvement and doing the right thing by the people that are making it all happen. So it was a good chemistry fit for how I'm wired.
Well, good.
I felt like a team, right? So then, when that happened, when the Palmer acquisition kind of happened, it just made sense. It was an opportunity to get back here, and we were going from 30 people to 120 people, right?
Wow.
So I think now we're at 160.
Yeah, that's great.
So it was just an opportunity to get back here, and it was my whole family's in Colorado, so it was a tough adjustment there for them, and losing we have a 4, 3, and 2-year-old.
Yeah, very young.
Or I guess 4, 2, and 1-year-old. But so that was a big adjustment for Grandma and Grandpa out there. But Grandma and Grandpa's out here, and cousins out here. We're all about it. So
yeah, well,
it was a great time.
We're glad to have you, to be
Appreciate
honest
it.
with you, and
Appreciate it.
we're glad that everything is working out out there. I want to tell us a little bit about your youth, though, and you're a baseball guy, right?
Yep, big baseball guy.
And you, of course, eventually you work with many boys.
Yep.
Tell us how the whole baseball story in college. And
Sure. So from a small town, very similar to like a Holcomb in Johnstown, Colorado. And it was a very tight-knit community. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody looked out for everybody. And baseball, we were really good at. And so I think of our team, our high school senior year, I think 8 of us went on to play college baseball.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's 9 guys playing.
So you had a fairly good team, would you say?
Yeah, we won the state championship our senior year. We were runners-up our junior year. We were really good.
What position did you play?
I was pitcher and outfield.
Okay.
Pitcher primarily, and then outfield when I wasn't pitching. I could never hit, though. I'm a golfer. But no, so then ended up going on to Trinidad State, down in Trinidad, Colorado for a year.
Yeah.
And then after that, a buddy of mine was going to Colby. And so I transferred up there, and a little bit better opportunity, and learned, looking back on it, Trinidad was the place where I learned so much from that coach. He's been
would you say he was a good influence on you, mentor for you?
the biggest.
Yeah.
The biggest. And he was back to what we were talking about earlier about doing the hard thing.
Yeah.
That was the hard thing, and I did it, and I probably, it led me down a path of like which way to go. And I picked probably the easy route at that time, but looking back on it, and we reconnected after the fact.
Yeah.
And man, it's been life-changing. It's been life-changing.
good.
And so I'm glad it worked out the way it did. But man, if I would have known now, or known then what I know now, I probably would have stayed.
Yeah.
But anyways, I go to Colby, fell in love with the coach up there. He's still a friend of mine to this day. Played there, and then went on to a school in North Carolina. Really, really good team in North Carolina, Division II school at the time. And they just were off a national championship. So a bunch of guys showed up there from all over the country.
Wow.
And really, really good.
What a great experience.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, I mean,
At a young man's, time of.
yeah, I was 20 years old, 21 years old. And I mean, you got scouts in the stands, and 7 dudes are getting drafted, and 2 of my buddies played in the big leagues. And so it's been a lot of fun. But so did that. But then when I got done playing in college, you either go to school to be a student athlete or an athlete student. And I was an athlete student. I went to kind of play ball and got the degree along the way. And, there's a reason they say student athlete, because you should focus on that degree first. And I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a plan.
I would say, like so many, sometimes
you don't, man. You really don't, and you don't know it until you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just tough. And so I had a professor. It was a woman. She was amazing, Vanna Pruitt. She was a professor of mine, and she got me all these like internships at like Google and Facebook. And this was in 2010, so those things were just kind of taking off.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
And I was like, nah, it's just not me. So I ended up going back up to Canada, and I played that summer. And my pitching coach, he's a mentor of mine too. And now a friend, he called me after the draft, because I was early on. There was some opportunities that might look in my favor.
Promising.
I kind of declined at the end of the year, and it didn't happen. So went back up to Canada and played with a bunch of buddies and kind of player coached up there. And he called me. He's like, I got you a gig. And he's like, it's independent ball, but go see what you got. So I drove to Kentucky, and I got a contract with an independent team there and played for 3/4 of a season. And realized what it's like with the big boys a little bit, not the big boys, but a step up.
You had a taste, a little bit of taste.
Yeah, and it humbles you quick. But it was an experience beyond belief. Like, got to meet Pete Rose. His son was our hitting coach.
Wow,
like, it was, you got to be around a lot of cool stuff. And you get a player card, all the stuff, all the cool things, right? You get to experience. But so after that season, I got released, and he got me a gig in New Mexico, actually in the same league that the Garden City Wind is in, the Pecos League.
Yeah.
And it was the inaugural season of that league, and with the Alamogordo white sand pupfish, I think was the name. And I was going to do it, and I drove down, and I went to spring training, and then at the time, I was coaching my first year at Colby in the off season. Coach called and said, hey, during the off season, why don't you come back and just help out and be a pitching coach and just feed into these guys? And I'm like, I'm all in. Keep me in shape.
Yeah.
It'll keep me kind of aligned to be ready
doing
for the next
something you really enjoy.
Yeah, get ready for the next season.
Right.
Right. So I'd go and I do, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. Had kids from all over the country.
You fell in love with the coaching.
Oh man, just the connection from
Yeah.
it was a different level. It was a different level of engagement on the baseball side of things that I had never experienced. I was always a player. And now you get to kind of help these kids. And I always told myself, I played 4 years of college baseball, and I always felt like if I would have had one more year, I would have had a lot more like maturity.
Sure.
A lot more knowledge to figure some things out. It was just so fast. It happens so fast. You don't realize when you're in it. And so that was really fun for me. I really kind of dove into that. And like, I tried to teach those 18-year-olds what I knew at 22, what I wish I would have known at 18.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it became this,
Yeah.
they were players, but they also became like friends, brothers. So anyways, we were having the best year Colby had ever had. we were doing great, and I ended up having to leave right before playoffs, and I drove to Alamogordo for spring training, and that night, sitting in a Motel 6, I got 2 phone calls from 2 recruits that the coaching staff at Colby was like, when I was trying to go after them, they were like, man, those guys just never come to Colby. And they both said that they're coming to Colby. And I was like, and I was recruiting them hard all year. And I'm like, holy cow, man, like these guys are like game changers. And so it kind of hit me at that moment. I'll never forget it. I was standing on a little balcony out in front of my room, and I called my pitching coach who got me all these gigs. And I said, hey, man, coach to coach here, not player to coach. I think I'm at a crossroads. And he's like, you got to make your decision. And I did. I knocked on the manager's door that next morning, and I said, I hope you understand it, but I'm done. I'm done playing. This isn't my gig. I got much more of a drive over here, and I turned around and drove.
Much more to give.
Yeah.
I mean,
man.
Think about it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I turned around, drove 15 hours back to Colby, walked into weights that night, and we went on, and we were 1 win away from the World Series that year, and just had an amazing year. And so then coached there for, I think it was almost 5 years before I ended up getting the opportunity back in Colorado. And that was a really hard thing to adjust. Like it was make that move, because my passion was in baseball, my passion was in coaching, my passion was with Colby, honestly. And I love Ryan up there. He's amazing. He is what you look for in all of these things with real men, real leaders. He's a true leader, and does the hard things when it's not easy. And so long story short, I ended up making the move. And I was 24 years old at the time, and it's like, I got a girlfriend I really like, like we're probably going to do this engagement deal.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity back home. Like, I don't know if Colby's my home forever. So we made the move. And then I got back there and I coached some high school baseball, some youth baseball, some like 14-year-olds, some like 7th, 8th grade type stuff. That was my favorite gap of players, because they were just at that kind of maturity age, 7th, 8th grade, probably the thinking they're cool till they get to become a freshman and they realize, holy cow, I got a lot to learn. And so there's a lot of stuff going on up top right then. And I loved that age. And that's when I found the true value in coaching and leadership, was because these kids I've been in 2 of their weddings. I'm the godfather of one of their kids.
That's that impact. That's that connection that's really human, and you just got to feel good about it.
And you don't know it so much while you're in it, right? Because like when you're coaching, even I look at teachers, man, and like, we all know the pay is not great. You don't get paid for the time and the effort and the mental capacity you put in.
Right.
But it's the return you get from the kind of the pay it forward attitude, right? Of I'm doing this because hopefully I influence this person, and then they influence 5 people, and then those people, and it's this ripple effect that's why you're in it, and you don't know it until that ripple kind of gets out beyond where you were at, and then it's like it comes back around. It's like Taption. It's like, hey, you were a part of that. And that's what's really rewarding to me.
When you step back and reflect.
Mm-hmm. Or they come back to you.
That's what I mean.
It's like
they come back and say, oh, wow.
It's humbling. It really is humbling to realize the impact you've had.
You told me I met Sean over a week ago, and he was telling me a story about a young man that you actually coached, and a kid that really nobody gave a chance to.
No.
But that you stuck with him and stuck it out with him and made him believe in himself, that he turned out to be a pretty damn good baseball player.
He did, and now he's.
You want to tell that story?
I will, absolutely, and I hope he watches this one day. His name's Connery O'Donnell, and he, I met him. It was the year I got to coach at the high school, and it was my high school that I graduated from, and he was, I think, a sophomore at the time, and he was on the JV team, and just kind of, everybody always told me, he's just watch out for that kid. Like, he's just kind of like a loose cannon. And, I'm a pretty hardcore coach. In the beginning, I could see that. I try to beat them down to see if they're really, really interested. Yeah. And then if they do, it's like, we're all in this together, and I'm going to take a bullet for you, kind of thing. And then we go about it the right way together. But you got to see if they're really interested, if they're really vested in this thing, right? Because it's a road, and it has nothing to do with ability. It's all about up here. Yeah. And he fought it for a while, and man, his talent was there.
What was he playing? What position?
He was a pitcher out. He was everything. He was 6'2" as a 15-year-old. He could throw the heck out of it. He could hit. I mean, he was fast. He was everything.
Let me ask you something. Were their parents involved?
Yeah. So his mom, and I'm gonna get there because it's very key. I think, especially in the leadership roles.
Yes.
That you touch on with all the things you're doing, real men, real leaders too, and that's why it's such a great story. Is long story short, his mom she was all about it. She's like, no, he needs this. Like and I'm still very close to her too.
Nice.
And so like she allowed it, because a lot of parents, they sometimes will fight that, right? When they feel that tension, because and if a coach is in it for the right intentions, hopefully the communication's transparent, that it's like, hey, look, trust me here. But it's hard sometimes. And I'm a parent too. I respect
you
that,
get a little bit protective, or
you do. And especially in today's day and age, it's fast and it's all about image. And but he fought it in the beginning, but he never stopped. And he kind of fought it in a way like he kind of reminded me a little like old school Mike Tyson. Like it was just fuel for the fire. It really was. And it was, now I saw it as a challenge to me to hone it in. Like, there's fire there. How do this can go this way, or this can go this way.
Right.
And so I started engaging with him. And my dad coached with me too, and I was the bad cop, he was the good cop. And it was a great duo. I could have the hard conversations, and he would come in on the back end and just pump him with confidence. Right. And so it was great. And so we ended up just, meeting once a week after practice, sitting on buckets, talking. Had nothing to do with baseball. It was all about mentality, all about mindset. There's a lot of analogies that we came up with, we still use today. And long story short, I coached 1 year, and it just didn't work out with the administration there.
Sure.
I left and stayed very close to him. And he ended up going on and doing really, really good in his high school career. And then he actually played at Garden City Community College.
Oh.
I got him down here.
Maybe you told me that.
Yeah, I got him down here with when Finnegan was coach. Knew Finnegan well when I was coaching at Colton. Yeah. And I got him down here, and he did okay. Was a hard working, just bulldog mentality. And so Finney loved him. And I think he did okay down here. And then he went on to play Division I baseball at SEMO, Southeast Missouri State, I think is whatever it's called.
Wow.
Did okay there, and got an opportunity to really be around a lot of guys that were going to tiptoe, and he learned so much. And when he got done playing, he blew my mind. He wanted to go after his master's. And so he's like, and then he just started finding opportunities in the coaching circuit. He went down to Florida for a little bit. He spent some time in North Carolina in the summer leagues. Last year he was with Walter State. They were runners up in the JUCO World Series. Like, he's just put himself in these situations by just never giving up and always staying focused and having the fire to fuel it and never allowing something to be the end of the road. And now he's, the assistant coach at a high Division II, and I think it's Division II.
Does he stay in touch with you?
We talk all the time. Yeah,
that's cool.
We talk all the time. And what really resonates with me, back to my kind of wrap around back into Real Men, Real Leaders, is he didn't grow up with a dad. And
I wondered about that.
Yeah, he didn't. And I didn't know that for the longest time. His mom was both roles, and she's a stud. She was amazing. She still is amazing. And I don't know, he's just always, I feel like he was always somebody that it grew into a relationship that he's like a brother to me. Yeah. And I think he always calls me Pops in text messages or whatever. And
that's cool.
I don't know if that's the figure he's searching for in that, or that I provide to him. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, it could go 10 years. We say hi to each other twice a year in a text message. But then if you ever had to get side by side and back to back and fend for each other, there's no doubt in my mind I trust him 100%. And he's out there doing it now. Like, he's out there paying that forward.
Yeah.
And trying to get these kids, and he's doing way better than I did. Like, as far as the coaching circuit go, like, he's surpassed it, man. And I think
that's got to make you feel good.
It actually,
go ahead.
It actually draws more of the emotional side out of it, because when you're in it, you don't realize this. I was tough on him in the beginning. I really was. And there's more times.
But sometimes you have to be.
You do, man. And when there was more times I was driving home after practice saying, am I being too hard on him? But then seeing him just take it and grow and grow and grow. And now it's like this massive breath of fresh air. Like, we're not crazy. And it worked. And I think all of the things that he would probably see, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he'd probably sit here today and remedy the same things. I bet he would. I bet he would say the same things, and then more, and then some, because he's learned so much along the process because of the doors he's opened. And so that is, you couldn't write a check big enough to cover that reward.
Yeah, and he's probably helping a lot of young men like you helped him. And this is what this is all about, right? You made a big difference in this kid's life.
Right.
And look what he's been able to do. And that's all we're trying to do
100%.
is help these young boys understand that despite, again, their circumstances, no matter how difficult it can be at home sometimes, you got to rise above that. But it takes people in their lives to help them.
100%.
Like you, hopefully like us, with many of our boys. That's a great story.
Yeah, and
I really wanted to.
Yeah, and there's so many more of it. Like, he's the one that really sticks out because he's just taken it so far. But there's a few others. You know, there's a kid named Tanner. Like, I met him, he was 14, same kind of deal. And now he's a firefighter. He's totally locked in. And I mean, he's a kid that he's a little younger than Connery, but I'd take a bullet for him too, and he'd take a bullet for me. Like, I just know it.
Where's he at today?
He's back home. Yeah, he went on, played college baseball, and had a lot of trials and tribulations along the path, with with home life and just all the things that, like, you know, happen when you're 14 to 18 years old. And you know, he's got so much talent, so much to give, and all he needed was a little help carving the path.
Yeah.
And he's carved a path for himself that, if you want my honest opinion, I would have never saw him going that far and taking it as far as he has, and he continues to do it. Like, every day it's just more and more, and he raises his bar and raises his bar and raises his bar. And when he was 14, you would have been like, nope, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And you know, he went through a lot of failures. He went through a lot of failures, a lot of mental things that came up, a lot of personal things that came into play, all accumulating at the same time. And where a lot of people would just be like, I'm good. Why flag it?
Yeah,
you know, I'm good. And he didn't, man. He chest out, chin up, and now it's like he's out there doing firefighting stuff with a big organization in Colorado. He got to go to California, do the wildfires up there. He's got to go to and he's impacting people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just crazy.
Well, obviously we all face tough challenges to get where we want to be. And I'd like for you to share maybe some of those tough, if you
Absolutely.
would, when you were, whether you were going, you know, high school based, you know, a college, was there ever any doubt? Was there ever a time that you were alone and you said, man, I don't know if I'm on the right path?
More times than not.
Yeah.
More times than not. And I think anybody would be lying to you if they.
Yeah, that's odd. I never had that.
Yeah, we're all human, man.
Right.
And he's kind of rolling back, like Trinidad, that freshman year, I was 18, and he was tough. And in a good way, challenged you mentally. And it's so funny because so many things that I learned from that guy that I experienced there are phrases, are things that I still use today. And that's 20 years ago. And I mean, there was so many things that he instilled in us that at the time you kind of fought, you know, and when you grow up, mature, and you kind of go down the road, it's like, holy cow, this guy wasn't crazy. He was spot on. And so he really inspired me, quite frankly, to do better, right? Do better. And when you feel the doubt, like, double down on it. And he always said, like, you know, depression's one thing, but what a lot of men do is when they realize depression's there, they realize that anxiety is there. They repress and they push it deeper and deeper, deeper.
Instead of
dude, and then it's just this big wall.
Right.
And you can't function that way.
You're absolutely correct.
You can't function. You can't be your best self. And so he's really, you know, he's a big piece in my life on why I feel like, for myself, and, you know, I speak for myself, is there was more times than not I doubted, and you wonder, and I still do today, like, am I doing enough? I think about it with my kids all the time.
I think for all of us men, we still go through a little bit of that. I know I do. even at my age. But as you mature, you become a little bit wiser.
You do.
And sometimes you don't take things so quite serious. There was a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've read it.
Yeah.
And because there was a time I would.
Sure.
And then you look back and say, why in the hell did I worry about that?
Yeah.
It's
funny because that relates exactly to what Coach Douglas used to tell us and I still use it today, is you can put everything is life's going to continue to move on regardless of what happens today.
Right.
And the things that we stress about, we put 70% of it is the weight we're putting on ourselves.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it?
Yeah,
They say it's more mental than anything.
Yes. And he always said, and it's something that's always stuck with me, nothing is ever as good as it seems, and nothing is ever as bad as it seems. And it's so true.
I've read that same thing.
He always said, he's like, don't let it get too high, don't let it get too low. Have little waves, not big waves. And so I've always I've done that. And I really think too, physical exercise and like, weight training and stuff like that. I still do that every day, every morning. Yeah. And it's very important to me because it's a challenge. I don't want to do it. I don't want to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym. I don't. My bed is much more comfier and cozier than
when it starts in the morning.
I don't want to do that, but it's like, I got to do it. And I look at it from different perspectives now. I challenge myself. Like, I got 2 daughters, and it's like, I want to dance at their wedding. You know what I mean? I got a son. I want to.
You want to be around.
I want to be there whenever he wants to marry somebody. Like, and now it's like this internal motivation to be like, today's just one day, but man, this is a long journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
That's right.
So to think about all the things like along the way is to answer your question on the times that were really tough. If you want some just kind of cliff notes, it was the mental grind.
Yeah.
It was trying to fight myself and not allowing myself to allow it to be too good or too bad. It was, no, keep it in the middle. And if you're seeing success, it's not going to be there forever.
That's right.
So bring it back to the middle, Sean.
Right.
And if you're failing, it's not going to be forever.
Right.
Bring it back to the middle.
Yeah,
and I feel like, if you can live in that path, and it's hard because there's times where it's like, somebody brake checks you on the highway and what the heck?
Man,
it's tough.
It is tough.
But I think if you can continue to just, I'm a firm believer of, motivation gets you started, but dedication keeps you going. Habit.
I want to add to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, motivation. Yeah, it's great to have motivation, but if you don't have the discipline, right?
Yeah.
And the drive, and then if you don't create good habits, because you can be motivated all you want. I can get motivated today. I'm going to go work out, man, and then something happens, and then I let that stinking thinking in my head win. I'll work out later.
Yep. Exactly.
Or I'll study or read later.
Exactly.
Or I'll make that phone call later. Mm-hmm. No,
you got to meet those things head on. Even if we got some people at work, and I'm open. I'll talk to anybody. I really don't care.
I can tell.
It's just like
when I first met you, I could tell that.
Because what do you got to lose, man?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's going to form
But I like that kind of person.
Yeah, everybody's going to form their opinion regardless. So just be who you are.
Yeah.
And so it's a challenge sometimes because people really do get in this anxiety in their head of like, I can't make that phone call or I can't send that email. And I'm like,
just do it.
Be respectful, send it, call it, face the fear head on.
That's right.
Because if you allow these things to kind of push and you procrastinate, it just gets worse.
Oh, it does.
In the game.
I've done it.
The laps you swim in your head, it's just, you wear yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've done it.
Yeah. We all have.
But as I've matured, and I do a lot of reading, and I listen to, I think, good podcasts and people that know what they're doing. They've been fairly successful, and I listen to people who've failed once, twice, 3 times, but then
get back up.
They get back up, and that is so key, especially when we're working with our boys. Like
100%.
I say,
100%.
Tell me today again, I hope this is not redundant, but what drives you today? I know you have family.
Yeah, and it's changed because early on it was like, when I met my wife, and it was like she's everything to me, man. Like she's the only person that really truly knows me, and I'm the only probably person who truly knows her.
Yeah.
And I love that, right? So like she is my like ride or die, and I know I'm hers.
That's great though, Sean.
And so like it's providing, and ever since I met her, I'm like, I just want to make her happy. I want to provide and just give her make her feel like a queen.
Yes.
And then that's driven me. And then, giving back. But then you have kids, man. And this, everybody who has kids, that I feel like,
ask Edgar.
that gives a crap about it. It's like, that becomes, that happens, that moment in that hospital, it's just like, whole new world opens.
It does.
And so now it's, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, man, like, it's a whole new set of challenges mentally too, because you think you're strong mentally until it's 2 a.m. and baby's screaming and man, what do you do? And it's like there's a lot of
been there, man, done that.
There's so many challenges, and so what drives me today is doing everything and I can on a daily basis to make sure that, one, I don't lose what me and my wife started, because without us, we don't have them. And so I always revert.
So true. Good statement.
I always revert back to that. Like, she is my number one. And then because of her, I have all of these other number ones. Yeah. And so now it's trying to mold and to be a role model when they're 4, 2, and 1 for them. One, how I want my son to walk and be and treat himself. Because if the inner voice is correct for him, he can go on and do his thing. If that inner voice is not correct for him and it's just speaking negative and all this stuff and drowning him out, like, it's not good. So that's a huge challenge, because he's 4. So that attention span, it's tough.
It is.
So that's what I'm really, really focused on currently in life. And then my daughters, it's like, I want them to know that they're not just beautiful. You're brave, you're smart, you
got to talk words.
You're encouraged.
Those words into
100%. And then out of all of that, I want them to see and know and feel love. Yeah. I want them to know what it's like for a husband to love his wife. And I want them to know what it's like for a wife to love her husband.
Dude.
So you think of that on a daily grind, that's a grind.
Yeah.
Because I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, I get my me time in the gym in, and then it's go. 6 o'clock, 6:30 rolls around, it's like kids are waking up, work starting, emails are rolling, phone calls are happening, and then it's like boom, 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 we're here. 5:30, I got to get him to gymnastics. He's doing this like Ninja Warrior deal down at the gymnastics field just to keep him going, because he's got energy like crazy. Getting home, doing dinner, doing bath, and it's like you're mentally just drained.
Yeah, you're.
So in that, it's like, what are you doing to train your mind to be as much on point as you can for these kids that whole time? And that's tough. And so they teach us, I think, as much as we teach them. Yeah. There's more times.
So much they're a blessing.
Man, I lay in bed more times at night thinking if I'm doing a good job than not. Like, am I doing enough? Am I, going? So
that's good.
That's what keeps you going. It keeps you going, because I feel like, my wife told me a story, she's like, bad parents don't wonder if they're doing a good job. And it stuck, because it's like, okay.
She said that?
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, bad parents don't wonder if they're doing a good job, and it kind of hit me. So,
well, it sounds like you are, and so often we speak. There's too many negative words that are spoken, whether you catch it on TV, whether it's coming from the classroom. There's just, and some parents sometimes, we don't do enough to speak those positive words. That even though they make a mistake, we give them some grace and say, hey, we tell our boys, if you're not making mistakes, then you're not learning, you're not going to be successful. Okay?
No, you're not.
It's true success when you learn from your mistake, especially if you can't repeat it if it's bad.
Yes.
And then you get back on track and you keep moving on. And we try to get our boys we talk a lot about organization and personal management, taking care of yourself, your body. You work out, I work out. Yeah, routines is huge.
It is, man.
And I think oftentimes, and I think we shared this a little bit, Sean, when I was in your office, is that we need the earlier the better. Mm-hmm. And too often I think we've waited. Mm-hmm. And then we try to correct them.
And it's hard.
Right?
It's hard.
Instead of creating a base here at the 5th, even 4th grade, we talk about going with 4th grade level boys, but for now we start at the 5th grade. We believe it's here because that is a critical point. We've talked to teachers, we've talked to educators. Before we got into this business, we asked them what is the most critical. They said 5th and 6th grade.
I could see it.
Yeah.
That's before all the puberty starts happening.
Correct.
Everything starts changing, man. And so,
Correct.
yep.
And they start deciding who they're going to hang with and what music they're going to listen to and how they're going to dress and
influences.
right.
What influences
and
them.
with social media now,
It's scary.
it is very scary. And
you got to have a good head on their shoulders so they know what's right, what's wrong.
yeah,
So it's not just so easily influenced, right?
right.
They got to be able to have the confidence to realize I shouldn't do this.
Right.
Rather than just going with the crowd because it's the cool thing to do. Because 9 times out of 10, the cool thing to do at that age is probably the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's be honest. And we've all been there. But now it's so much scaled because of
Social media, yeah.
It's just...
It's magnified it to the point that it's hurting our kids. I think on a personal level that social media has not been good for our children because of the algorithms. But on the other hand, yeah, those companies divide those algorithms, but the only reason they do so is because you're picking it up and you're deciding on what you want. Well, they're going to work off that, and then they're going to feed you more and more and more of it.
It starts wiring.
So it's a two,
Agreed.
responsibility there. So, but going back, we really need to work better at even though our kids make mistakes, encourage them to get back on track. It's not the end of the world,
Yep.
and let's get it corrected and learn from it, and then create good habits, about themselves being organized and ready to hit the day.
100%.
We try.
100%. You're doing a damn good job with it, man.
Well, we appreciate you. I know you were excited. By the way, my cousin Chris Mace has worked for the Obrates for, I don't know, 40 years?
He's been there a long time.
A long time.
A long time.
And I
He's
know
been fun to work with.
Chris used to serve on our board.
Yep.
And he's still very supportive and loves what we're doing. And he's a big golfer. And
Yep.
he's going to play on our golf tournament. I think he's going to try to get you guys out there. But Chris told me, he said, man, you need to come out and talk to Sean because he really likes what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I said, well, I told him, man, would he take a meeting? He goes, yeah, let me get with him first. I jumped all over that, man.
Love it.
Because we need young guys like you to tell your story and some of the things you were able to do and the kids that you were able to help because that's what it's about.
It is.
That's what it's about.
You got to pay it forward, man.
Yeah.
There's that Tim McGraw song, Humble and Kind, and the last verse in there says, don't forget when you get where you're going to turn back around and help the next one in life. And it's so true when you think about it. Like, what else do we got? You can make all the money in the world, you can have all the success in the world, whatever you deem success. But like, if you're not recreating that and the people behind you, what's it all for?
Yeah.
They say in like 2 generations, nobody remembers your name. Nobody remembers you. Like, think of that. Like, that's not that much time. So while you're here, make it worth it. Like, you talk about like giving back, and it's not about anything, but not a legacy or nothing, but it's just.
There's some truth to that, Sean, but the work like you did, those guys remember you.
It'll ripple.
That's why I like what I do. Part of my job is with Real Men Real Leaders.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be running this nonprofit that I helped start with a couple other guys. But once you get in and you get connected with these young kids, man, it just, it gets you, man.
It does. And then if you can, like you're saying, if you can ripple it and get it to spread, man, it's just like faith, right? It's like anything.
Right.
It's, if you can get that word to ripple and those mentalities to ripple and those work ethics to ripple, you're creating change. Yes. You're creating positive
for the better
for the world. And I still think in today's world, there's way more good than bad. And so it's just so much more exposed on these things.
Yeah.
And so I think to your point, what you're doing with Real Men, Real Leaders is such a big thing. And now that you're bringing the women into the girls into it, man, it is just, that's transformational.
Yeah.
Because now you're hitting 2 different, mindsets that are going to go out into the world.
Before we started, there were some board members, some staff that thought, I know you got to be going in a bit. We had that doubt, a little bit of doubt. I don't know if we should be.
Sure.
I said, man, you cannot leave 50% of the population out.
No.
You're only hurting your organization. These little girls, they need help too. Well, now, we don't have to, we'll have women involved with that.
100%.
And that's what we're doing.
100%.
Okay. But these little girls need help.
They mature at a different age.
They do.
Grow at a different age.
They're built different.
Man alive. But then, in my opinion, like early on, especially when you talk about boys at 5 and 6 or 5th and 6th grade, girls, they are stronger, taller, faster, smarter, all the things. And so like now you got to try and help them.
Sean's going to be getting some hate mail or something now.
No, they are. They are.
No, I'm just teasing.
They are.
There's truth to that.
They are so much more like capable, like from a maturity standpoint.
You know, you're right, because let me tell you something real quick. When we started meeting with the girls, yeah, very much more behaved.
Yes.
Listen, paid attention.
Yes.
The boys, and Edgar knows this because he helps teach our class.
But man, like think of like the impact you can have too. Like if you can get like women that are successful in leadership to now start getting into those ages, you're creating a bigger ripple.
Well, we hope so.
You really are.
You know, that's what, Sean, I know you got to go. Before you leave, share one thing or a couple of things that you believe makes a good leader.
Okay. I think for leadership, a lot of it is you can never stop learning. You can never stop growing. You can't be stagnant with anything. Like knowledge is power.
Yes.
You know, leadership to me is saying the hard thing when it shouldn't be said. Doing the hard thing when it shouldn't be done.
Right.
I think that, you know, habits and your mentality and
the discipline,
fighting through adversity and discipline are key. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And so, and again, I get back to old Scott Douglas from Trinidad, down in Trinidad, is nothing's ever as good as it seems and nothing as bad as it seems. Keep it in the middle, push through, and have positive mind. Like, you know, I'm a firm believer of what you think is, and how you talk to yourself is what happens.
Yeah, exactly. I am too.
And so I think if you can keep that inner voice positive and good and fight the bad little guy on your shoulder and keep that good one talking positive, I think it can do a lot of good things.
Well, we sure appreciate you, man.
Likewise.
We're gonna have to have you back.
Yeah, likewise. Anytime.
And we will. And
anytime.
Thank you for being supportive for Real Railroad Leaders. And we, we'll do this again. By the way, that you take that coffee.
I will.
We were going to give some other thing, but we'll get it to you.
I love it, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
You bet.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for joining us today. Please stay tuned for the next podcast, which will probably take place next week. We really appreciate you watching and your support. And by the way, if you'd like to be on our podcast, call me. Reach out to me. Call me at 785-230-6388, and we'll see what we can do to get you on. God bless. Take care. See you next time.